My name's Alex, and this is where I've spent the last 18 years of my life. I briefly left home when I was about 17, left for about 4 or 5 years. Then last year I came back and I spent the last year working on quite a few projects here. Back in January and February, I set myself a little project to grow some mushrooms in my bedroom, which was very fascinating, but at the same time, maybe a little bit stupid because I ended up getting ill from all the mushroom spores that were obviously floating around the room. But then the spring came and I started working on this garden, growing loads of fruit and vegetables, and it's been possibly the most satisfying, rewarding, fulfilling thing that I've ever done. And I've also been keeping bees. Here are 4 of my beehives, and they have been making me lots of honey. This year was a really good honey harvest. I think we had 68 kilograms of honey, which is way more than I thought we'd ever get. Anyway, after 18 years of living at this place, I'm gonna move house. This is gonna be the first time I've ever lived in a different part of England. I'm moving to the West Country. And I'm actually a little bit sad about moving because when you spend so much time at a place, you get to know the people that live around here. You get to know the surroundings, and it just feels like home. Now, the hardest part of moving house is gonna be moving my hundreds of thousands of bees. How am I going to move house with my bees? Well, I'll show you a little bit later. For now though, I've got to start packing up things in the house. I've got my office to clean up and put into boxes. It's gonna take more than one trip to move house because we've got loads of stuff. This is my office where I have been working for the past year. I have sat in this chair and edited, I think, about 60, 70 videos. So I've spent an awful lot of time here, and I'm now going to pack it all away. Look at all my boxes, so I've got loads of them. Beekeeping boxes, more beekeeping boxes, some office boxes. There's a load of boxes. Over the past year, I've also spent an awful lot of time in this room. This is the kitchen, and I'm very grateful for being able to have used this space over the past year because I really enjoy cooking. I've been cooking food for my mum and dad most days, and I just enjoy being in the kitchen. And my parents are very understanding when it comes to the mess that I make in here. When I've got the whole room filled with all my honey extracting equipment, and also when I'm making candles, when there is wax all over the kitchen. However, when I moved back into this house a year ago, one thing they didn't have in the kitchen was some sharp knives. Now, I have been lucky enough to accumulate a collection of nice knives that I look after. Now, why am I telling you this? Well, I'm moving out, which means I'm going to take my knives with me, which leaves my mum and dad with their old, chipped, incredibly blunt kitchen knives. I decided to be a good son for once and buy my parents a present, so I bought them a set of kitchen knives. So when I'm gone, they can still enjoy some nice, easy, fun cutting of vegetables. Anyway, what I wanted to say from all of this was that I'm going to miss this kitchen. Look at it, it's such an amazing space and it's so easy to take it for granted, and I have. Anyway, it's time to say goodbye to this kitchen. Gosh, I'm actually doing it. I'm moving house. Takes about 3 hours to get there, and this will be my first load of stuff. I'm probably gonna have to do another van full later on this week, and then of course I'll have to do a separate trip just to take the bees. I got my camera on a suction mount on the window. That's cool, isn't it? Alright, let's try this. How's that? I'm so nervous and so excited. I'm gonna be living in a city. I never thought that I would ever be a city boy. But turns out I am. My room!
Your room.
Wow.
There's a lot of washing in here.
It's got a bed already. That's cool. The living space. And best of all, the garden. Feels kind of surreal that Bristol is my new home. Over the next few days I need to clean up all this mess and sort out my room. I have nearly got my room set up. All I haven't got is my proper working chair, which is why I've got this thing, but it does the job for now. Now you may be wondering, why move to Bristol? What was the reason for moving to this particular place? Well, firstly, the most important reason is that I have friends who live here. I spent part of my life living on my own, I spent part of my life living with family, and I realised I very much enjoy living with other people. Well, living on my own was a little bit lonely, I will admit. And the people I'm living with in this house, there's 4 other people. I actually went to school with them, so I know them reasonably well, and they're all super nice people, and I'm very happy to share a house with them. Secondly, I just wanted the experience of living in a different part of England. I've lived in the southeast of England, in the countryside, pretty much my whole life. I've never lived in a city, so I wanted to get the experience of living somewhere a little bit busier, and I thought Bristol was an ideal place to do that. I did think about living in London, but London seems very hectic and very busy, and yeah, seeing as my friends were here already, I thought I'd come and join them. Now there was one thing that was holding me back from moving house. If you have watched my videos in the past, you might know that I keep bees. I guess you could say I'm a bee farmer. I wouldn't call them my pets. I don't really like pet them and stroke them and stuff. Well, sometimes I do stroke my bees because they got nice furry coating. But I'd say they're more like livestock. They're like having sheep or cows or chickens. You look after them and they produce a crop of some form of food. In my case, bees produce honey, which is great because honey is tasty. The bees that I have accumulated over the past 2 years of beekeeping are all in the garden at my old place. And I was thinking, how do I move house with my bees? How is that going to work? Is it even possible? Because the garden in this house is quite small. It probably wouldn't be suitable to keep hundreds of thousands of stinging insects in the garden in case the next door neighbours were allergic to stings or whatever. I basically decided that I wasn't going to move until I found somewhere that I could keep my bees. And thanks to the wonderful world of social media, I put up a post on Instagram just asking people, does anyone know anywhere I can keep my bees near Bristol? And someone replied to the post saying, yeah, I know a couple who have a farm just outside the city. So of course I followed that up, and back in, I think it was May or June, I actually visited this farm to check it out and see if it was suitable for keeping my bees at. A couple of really nice people own this place. They actually keep bees themselves. They also have pigs, sheep, which they make cheese from, and I'm excited to possibly keep my bees here. I need good access because beekeeping involves lifting lots of boxes. I'm just checking out this gate. It looks quite old, but we're gonna see if it opens. Well, the gate opens. It's not a very good gate, but it does work. I can either keep my bees along this hedgerow, but then it's quite close to the road and I don't want my bees being stolen. And there's also another spot down by those trees, a bit more enclosed, which might work better. I could try and keep the bees in here. Apparently that's an old lime kiln. Lots of ivy, that's good for bees. We've got a sycamore tree and an ash tree. I don't know if either of those are good for honeybees. Hawthorn That's good. Lots of brambles, that's also good. Another hawthorn. And obviously so many surrounding fields which will have plenty of wildflowers, I guess. Yeah, all of this is hawthorn, that's great. There's a load of wild garlic here as well. So I can do some foraging whilst looking at my bees. Oh, that's really garlicky. Well, that's it. I'm gonna move house and so are my bees. It turned out to be such an ideal place because the people at that farm were already beekeepers, they had a beehive there, and they were also into lots of other things. They had pigs, lambs and chickens, and they were very happy about me bringing some beehives there. So with the place secured to keep my bees at, I could now comfortably commit to moving myself to the county of Bristol. I'm back with my bees, and before I actually move the bees, I want to move the stands, the wooden stands that the beehives are sat on. I want to move them to the new location first, so I can get everything prepped and ready at the new place, and then I can move the beehives once everything is like prepared. But there's something important that you have to remember when moving beehives, is if I move the beehive just a few feet to the left or right or anywhere, then the bees might not be able to find their way back home because they remember a specific point as their entrance to the hive. And if I go moving the beehive a little bit, then the bees might get lost. So I actually have to take the beehive off that stand, move it to the side, take the stand out of the way, then replace it with a temporary stand, which is what these pallets are for, and then the beehive hasn't moved. But when I move it all the way to Bristol, that is far enough so that the bees reorientate and realize that they have properly moved position, and they will get used to the new area as their new home. Anyway, I'm gonna get on with it. Last time I wore this suit, I had bees going under my jacket and stinging me, so I hope that doesn't happen this time around. All the bees that were out flying will now return to here. And the longer I leave it like this, the more and more bees will congregate in this area. So I need to do this as quick as possible. Now, it doesn't seem like you have to be 100% accurate. You don't have to place the hive to the millimeter exactly where it was before, but just close enough so that the bees can find it again. And I think I've done that now. All sorted. That's the Clifton Suspension Bridge in Bristol. It costs, I think, £1 to go over there, so I'm making a detour. This is Bristol. This is my new home. Feels kind of crazy, but it's quite nice. It's like a nice city. It's not too busy, it's not too crazy and hectic, and you drive about 20 minutes and you can get out of the city into the countryside, which is where my bees are. And today I'm going to do some prep work ready for bringing the bees over. I've got to tidy up the area, set up the hive stand that I took from the original place yesterday, and then yeah, get everything ready for the bees. And as you can see, it's quite overgrown. Look, there's some sheep. So we're gonna have to try and clean all of this. And then also this gate is broken, so I need to mend this. So there's a few jobs I gotta get on with. I also just bought this grass trimmer, so I can trim the grass around my beehives, keep it all nice and tidy and neat. In the 25 years that I've been on Earth, I've never used a grass trimmer, so this is going to be the first time. Exciting. I bought my own grass trimmer, battery powered, which is Perfect. I also went to the shop and bought some gloves from a garden centre. This is exciting. These are leather washable comfort fit gloves.
Well, the question is, do I read the instructions first or do I just go for it? Should probably read the instructions.
I am the least practical person ever. I struggle with the simplest of things. Update on the grass strimmer. I failed at strimming the grass almost instantly. I bought my strimmer, opened it up, realised I needed a screwdriver and I didn't have one. So I need to go and get a screwdriver and I'll have to do the strimming tomorrow. For now though, I can still do some stuff with these sharp objects. I'm going to cut back the hedge so the gate is nice and accessible. And I'll do the trimming tomorrow. This is blackthorn and it has really long thorns. The thorns aren't black, but they are sharp. Luckily I got thorn-proof gloves on. Ooh. Well, that's looking a lot better. I'm gonna have to still do a lot more work and I'm gonna come back tomorrow and sort out everything else because I forgot the bloody screwdriver.
Hey, I've got a screwdriver. Wow, it actually works. Unlike all the knives that I tried earlier.
Oh gosh. Oh, something just slot really nice into place there. Oh, Alex's gardening services. I'll cut your grass. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's perfect now. There you go. Well, there's my new toy. It's not really a toy, is it? It's a tool. It's a tool to do a job, and that job is cutting grass. And I'm gonna cut some grass tomorrow. See you then. Just did the strimming. I think they're in a good position. I need to level them out a bit, but nice sheltered spot. And the bees can fly out and then across the fields into the countryside where they can feed on all the flowers. Next step is to mend the gate. Then I can use this as a proper entrance and reverse my van up to my beehives, which will be perfect. So that is what we hang the gate on. This little hole there fits over that. And then the bottom hole there fits over that one. And then the gate will be lifted off the ground. And that thing there goes through the whole piece of wood. And it looks like the pigs are now in this part. They're in the woodland. The ground is like super turned over. Yeah, there's definitely pigs in there now. They're so big. Look at you, you're covered in mud. This variety is very close to the wild boar. They're not wild boar, but they're very close to that. Look at them, just nosing around in pure mud. And that can't be a nice sensation inside your mouth. Kind of looks satisfying though. See you later, pigs. Okay. Ooh, you go up a little bit. Oh no, down, sorry. Down, yeah, there we go. Woo. There we go. Nice. Well, I'm back at the original site and I'm prepping the hives ready for transporting tomorrow morning. I have got to just make sure that everything is bee tight so that the bees aren't going to escape while I'm in my van driving. And I'm also going to make sure that the hive is strapped together really well, and so the different pieces of the hive won't like dislodge and move apart. So that beehive there is ready to pick up tomorrow morning and put in my van. No. One of my beehives has died. This is the hive that did so much honey. And it's dead. There's just nothing in there. No bees, no honey, no brood, no anything. I think this one is okay. Yep, I can see them all in there. This hive's got a clear lid, so I can see the bees. I can see that they're all clustered up because it's quite cold. The bees are ready to be transported. I'm a bit upset because one of my colonies has died. I'm not too sure why. I remember last time I checked there was quite a high infestation of mites, so it could have been to do with that. Could have been that they ran out of food. There was like no food in there, which is strange because like a month ago there was quite a bit. No bees, there's not even any signs of dead bees around the hive. But yeah, that's very strange. Something obviously went wrong. They weren't strong enough and they have died. It shows that even if it's going great at one time of the year, it doesn't mean it's gonna carry on. So I'm gonna sort that hive out, put that in storage, use that next year, and transport these 3 beehives to my new place in Bristol. I'm hoping just a piece of tape works. No bees are getting out there. This little polystyrene box is a little bit easier to close. It has this little flap. That's one hive strapped down. 3 beehives in the back of my van. I hope that all the entrances are nicely closed. I'm nervous because this is going to be a 3-hour drive. And I need to remember a few things, not to turn the heating on because I don't want the bees to warm up loads and overheat. I've got to try and drive smoothly because the bees are obviously clustered around like their nest area. And if I go over a big bump, they might fall off that and then it might be too cold for them to climb back up. I don't really know what I'm doing. I've never done this before. I'm a little bit nervous. I can hear the bees in the back. They're rustling around. It's time to move house, bees. How do you feel about that? We're gonna arrive at about midday. Then we're gonna open the bees up and they're gonna be in their new home. Bees, bees, Alex. Let's go. I've got the heating on my feet, but the window's down. It's a very strange feeling. Warm feet, but very cold upper body. We hit rush hour as well, so busy. It kind of feels strange that there are thousands of bees in the back of my car, and everyone around me doesn't know it. Coffee, sausage roll. It smells so strongly of honey and wax in here. Bristol! There's a loose bee. I'm hoping I don't get stung now, that would be bad. Nearly there. Oh, these are some cool country lanes. We made it to the new apiary. Right, I've got to get the hives out. I can hear them inside. They're still alive. They must be so mad. They can't be happy. I decided to put them all on this one stand because I was worried that if there was just one hive on that one, then it's more likely to be tipped over by a horse or a sheep or the wind. But with 3 hives on this stand, it should be really heavy. It shouldn't move. Also, if I split these colonies next year, I can use that other stand for more hives. I guess it's time to let them out. Be free! Now I would imagine they're going to be really confused for a while because I've moved them like 150 miles away from their previous home. They're going to have to figure out where they are. And when bees are moved from one location to another, if they're moved far enough away from home, they do this thing called an orientation flight, where they fly up above the hive and then circle the area to get to know the new place that they're at. So I guess the next warm day, they will do just that. There's a few bees coming out the entrance, but it's a bit cold, I think, for them to go on a proper flight. Oh, I'm so happy the bees are finally here, because I moved house like a month or 2 ago, so it's good that the bees are with me now. Now bees, behave. I hope you get on with the pigs. Well, there we go. The bees are in the new location, just outside the city of Bristol. I have successfully moved house, and also the bees have successfully moved house. Next time I see you will be in probably March, on a nice warm spring day, where we're going to open up these hives. I'm hoping that all these 3 colonies survive. I'm a bit sad about the one that I lost, but that's nature, that happens, I suppose. Thanks for watching this video. I'll see you next spring.